So I've been doing OxyShred, the best pre-workout in my opinion, with creatine again. Started taking that almost every day. About 5 grams, kind of helps a little bit. And I'm going to do like around half of this OxyShred hardcore mode. It's got some nootropics in it, so I like it. Drink your fucking water. It doesn't taste that good, but little soda can thingies you can get, kind of expensive, those taste better. And then something I've been doing is methylene blue. And this shit is very interesting because I found lots of research on it saying that it might prevent cancer. Don't know about that, but taking about 5 milliliters daily. I think the max you can take safely is like 30 milliliters of that, but I'm just low dosing it, seeing how it goes. And of course, bromotain, haven't talked about that before. Bromotain plus L-tyrosine, supposed to help with dopamine production and reduce kratom tolerance a little bit with that. That's a complicated topic, but it's interesting. And I've been taking kratom for like 3 years or so, around 8 to 15 grams a day max. And if you've been taking kratom, you know that it's very addictive. But it helps me get through the day, it helps me do a lot of things, helps me make videos like these, and it does reduce your sex drive a little bit, depends. I might do a video on that later, but you basically want to just treat it with respect. Don't take anything over 15 grams a day in my opinion. And definitely don't use it with any other drugs unless you know what you're doing. But yeah, you could take agmatine sulfate. Gotta be careful with this. This is just a supplement that you can find at any store pretty much, and I would take 500 milligrams of that to potentiate more of the kratom for a couple days and then come off. Usually do that when I'm taking a taper of kratom. But that's one way you can control your tolerance to it. And taking a magnesium supplement, magnesium citrate specifically, also helps with those withdrawals. But if you only use kratom a couple times a week, you'll never have a problem. It's only if you use it daily. Don't take it daily. I would recommend you don't, unless you're just highly unmotivated, always just not wanting to do anything. And that's pretty much where I was at 3 years ago, and nothing was helping, so that's why I take kratom. But I know the limitations of it, and you want to just really mitigate your dosage, don't take too much, and yeah, it's kind of like everything, use in moderation. So more on the methylene blue. This is super interesting. Don't see a lot of people talking about it, but I just started taking it, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. basically what I found was it treats a lot of ailments that people might be having. I don't think it will prevent anything unless it's built up in your system for a long time. Methylene blue is a chemical compound, yes, but people call it the blue aquarium water. It tastes fucking horrible, but I'm taking it kind of as a multivitamin kind of daily nootropic. See how that goes. What I found, there's no harm in taking it. There's no addiction with it. There's no side effects that I found, really. There might be some, of course, as everyone likes to just say negative things about certain things, but in the nootropic community, I found nothing but positive benefits from methylene blue, and it's I really don't know how it works, but it sounded like something I'd be interested in because I do take quite a few nootropics, such as bromotain, alpha GPC. Apparently, creatine is a nootropic. That was interesting, but there's a couple of other things that are just not really found in like the food that you eat or the water that you drink. So that's why we supplement with them. The supplements that I take are supplements that, one, make me feel better, feel good, that repair cells, that heal the body, such as BBC 157. That's another really good peptide. It's not really a nootropic, but it's going to change the brain and just heal the body. Those are the nootropics and supplements that I'm interested in, that heals and regenerates things, and some mild stimulants. There is another one that I'm experimenting with, more on that later, but you always want to just do your research, making sure that they don't interact with certain things that you might be taking. I want What I look for in a nootropic is something that doesn't harm my sex drive, but rather increase it or keep it the same. Stuff that's giving me energy, stuff that's giving me motivation and drive to do the fun things that I like to do and the job that I love to do. So, anything that can help my brain work faster, work smarter, and heal things, that's what I'm interested in. And yeah, methylene blue. I'll let you know 1 month or a couple months later how that goes and how I feel. But as far as what I found, there's no side effects, no long-term side effects. It's just like something you would take to help prevent certain things, like certain diseases from happening, and Alzheimer's, things like that are very serious, something that I don't want when I'm older. So that's why I take these things, and anything that just benefits you overall. So, supplements that I take to increase or fix my sex drive. Here we go. So, there's a lot of them. I take a lot of supplements, I take a lot of nootropics, and research chemicals, if you will. No one is talking about this. That's why I want to do a video about it. So, long story short, I take kratom. Been taking that for 3 years, and it does decrease your sex drive over time, at least for me. Some people say that it completely kills their sex drive. Yeah, I'm not one of those people. I would recommend to stay away from kratom. If you're feeling perfectly happy, perfectly fine, you don't need it. The reason I take it, continue to take it, is because I was highly depressed and very unmotivated, I guess you could say. Fuck this sun. Okay, hopefully that's good. Unmotivated and just not able to do things. So granted, I did have some hormonal problems in the past that really screwed me up, but I fixed that and we're all good now. So definitely, if you're having sex drive problems, hormones play the biggest role. And aside from hormones, dopamine and the production of dopamine, if your body is not able to produce dopamine, you're going to have a hard time. So that aside, besides taking kratom, which typically reduces that, and over time your cells just become too adapted and receptive and saturated with dopamine that you're getting from kratom. Kratom is not a opioid. That is a video for a different day. And there's tons of videos on YouTube that you can research kratom. I take it for just my ability to function, because without it, I would be back to my old depressed self. So that is why I take kratom. And it has helped me create the business that I have today. It's helped me do things that I always wanted to do, but just simply could not do it because I had serious problems. It's better than taking alcohol. It's better than taking fucking cocaine. It's better than taking Adderall, in my opinion. So, back to the topic. What increases your sex drive supplement wise? Now that your diet is perfect, which I assume if you're at to this point, you've been watching a couple of my other videos, your diet does play a role. Like, you don't need to be eating trash. You need to be eating good, healthy stuff and working out just like a normal person, going to the gym 3 to 5 times a week. 6 days, I would say, is probably a little too excessive, unless you're on a little bit extra help. So if you got that down, what you can do to increase it is supplements slash research chemicals wise. Now, melanotan 2 is king. Melanotan 2 is fucking the best, in my opinion, for increasing your sex drive. I wouldn't recommend that you take it every day, because I did for a little bit, and it was just a little too much. So that you do have to inject. It does make you tan. It has very few side effects and none that I've really experienced over time. I take it a couple times a week, and I've taken months off of it at a certain period of time. So besides melanotan 2, there is another peptide called Cmax with an S. And what that does is you spray it in your nose. It does help me recover from my workouts. It does regenerate the CNS system, and it's going to kind of help with the post-workout brain fog, which I had quite a bit of. It's going to, at least for me, increase my sex drive by quite a bit. Not in the way that melanotan does, but it does work. So that might be something to look into. Besides Cimax, melanotan 2, I would recommend Cialis, although it's not going to increase your sex drive. It's going to just make you have more blood flow. And with more blood flow, it's going to make you more horny. So that's going to help get that figured out. And it's also a great pre-workout. So Cialis, 5 to 10 milligrams. That's a good baseline. I wouldn't recommend taking it every day for a long period of time, but I use that occasionally, maybe just on workout days. But that's one thing that does work, and I would choose that over Viagra any fucking day, because fuck Viagra. All it does is make you super congested and possibly have a heart attack, because that's what happened to me. So kratom, the reason I talk about this is because I think that I fucked up my dopamine system, and I fixed it for the most part over a pretty short period of time. Now, besides taking a break from kratom, I could do that, but I've taken tapers, and I do tapers in certain phases, in certain periods of time, so I can resensitize and feel that again. So there's that. To unfuck the issues that I had with kratom over a long period of time, without completely pulling it out for weeks on end, um, there is a nootropic slash chemical called 9-MEBC. And what that does is it spawns new dopamine cells. What that's going to do is just allow you to have more dopamine, but I believe it repairs the dopamine that was either dead or turned off. So the more dopamine that you have, as long as it's not too much, because I've heard of that happening with this particular substance, um, you would take it anywhere from 5 to 30 days is what people say the general rule of thumb is for that, because it can be dangerous. It is an MAIO, or however you spell that, inhibitor. But that's a good thing, in my opinion, because it's going to prevent the downregulation of all these things, and that's how you feel shitty again when you're taking dopaminergic drugs, such as Adderall. I don't take Adderall, but people have used this particular research chemical for that. Um, so that is actually pretty fucking awesome. Um, with 9-MEBC, I've been taking it for 12 days precisely, and today I just stopped. I'm going to do another cycle of it to experiment with it in the future, and we'll see how that goes. But so far, I think it really worked super well. My sex drive increased phenomenally. Phenomenally. My sex drive increased quite a bit. And I was super motivated again after a couple of days of using it, and it resensitized me to kratom again, so that's really fucking good. So yeah, this is fucking dark. But anyways, those are the main things as far as I've researched that's going to play a huge role in your sex drive as far as just fixing certain systems, because you don't just fuck up your sex drive usually. It's really something else that's causing that. You want to get to the root of the problem. So that's basically what I did, and I feel fucking great. That is all. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and it's a long video, but that's what works for me. So hope you guys have a fantastic day.